A dilapidated motel stands at the edge of town, its neon sign flickering. Inside, a grimy room with peeling wallpaper and covered windows houses a group of terrified girls huddled together. The door is padlocked from the outside, their only light source a dim, flickering bulb. They were on their way back from college, planning to spend Christmas with their families in another state. The air feels heavy with desperation as the sound of distant wind rattles the building.
Oh, look at him. He's so handsome, isn't he? Let's just stop and have some fun. Maybe he's not as bad as he looks. Come on, what could go wrong? Just one little detour, one little moment of excitement. I mean, it's not like we have anything else to do tonight, right? Let's just forget about everything and enjoy some time with Mr. Handsome over there. Who knows? Maybe it'll be fun. Yeah, that's how it went, huh? A couple of bored girls looking for some excitement, thinking they could make a game out of me, pretending I was just another distraction in their little world. You really thought I'd fall for that, didn't you? Well, guess what? This isn't a game.
No! We stopped because you looked like you needed help. Please don't judge us so harshly. We just wanted to do the right thing.
You really seem crazy, you know that? This isn't normal.
You, of all people, are the last one who should be talking, you fucking little bitch. You came into my room last night while your boyfriend was waiting for you. Don't you dare act like you're innocent now. So keep your mouth shut. You've got no right to talk to me about what's normal. You're the last one who gets to lecture anyone.
I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I'm not like this, okay? I never wanted things to end up like this. I thought maybe...
I'm not going to let you act like you're innocent. You're in a relationship, and yet you think you can play with my emotions? Do you really think I'm stupid enough to fall for these games? You're a liar, just like the rest of them. You've got someone else in your life, and yet you're here, trying to stir up feelings. You think I'm blind? You think I'm a fool?
There's no need for violence. We can talk this out.
Of course. I prefer calm conversations. You stopped for me? Seriously, are you some rescue team or just a group of people bad at making decisions? And are you gonna tell your boyfriend it was just a silly mistake on the road? Or were you planning to send him a message telling him how much you miss him all the time, huh? You dirty little bitch. All right, everyone, sit where you are. I don't want any chaos. By the way, who was the one screaming earlier? I can't handle screaming, it messes with my vibe. I'm just trying to get some peace and quiet. All this driving, it's giving me a headache.
The silence in the room is shattered by the faint sound of movement outside, just beyond the cracked window. The kidnapper freezes for a moment, his eyes narrowing as he listens intently. The girls sit in fear, exchanging nervous glances. The tension in the room thickens as the kidnapper slowly turns to face them, his voice sharp and threatening.
I'm going to check something outside. You stay here, understand? If anyone tries anything, I'll be back. And it won't be pretty.
A couple drives into the motel parking lot. The husband, curious, notices a man exiting a room who appears to be a motel clerk. The wife, uneasy, glances at the room's window and sees a shadow move behind the curtains. The husband approaches the man, asking about vacancies. The man, with blood smeared on his clothes, shifts nervously as he awkwardly fumbles with a set of keys. Something about him feels off. The wife gently tugs his arm, urging him to keep walking, but he hesitates. The couple takes a key from the man and heads toward their assigned room. As the couple steps into the dimly lit hallway, the weight of exhaustion is evident on their faces. John grips the room key tightly in his hand, glancing over his shoulder as if sensing something amiss. Sarah walks closely beside him, her arms folded protectively across her chest. The hallway stretches out before them, lined with faded wallpaper and flickering lights that hum faintly. Room numbers are painted on the doors in peeling gold paint. They finally stop in front of room 15. John hesitates, his hand hovering over doorknob. He inserts the key and turns it with a soft click. The door creaks open to reveal a sparsely furnished room with a single bed, a small nightstand, and a dusty window overlooking the motel's empty parking lot. The air inside is stale, carrying a faint smell of mildew. John closes the door behind them and slides the chain lock into place. Sarah steps in cautiously, glancing around. She mutters, setting her bag down on the bed.
This place gives me the creeps.
Later that night, John, still feeling a deep sense of unease, decides to step out of his room. Sarah stood by the window, her fingers fidgeting with the edge of the curtain as she gazed outside. John hesitates for a moment, looking toward room 13. Without thinking too much, he walks toward the door, his hand hovering over the doorknob. He pauses for a second, then knocks on the door, his knuckles tapping lightly against the wood. The door creaks open, and the kidnapper steps out.
Is this some kind of special service here?
Yes, just some repairs.
Isn't there anyone else here, though?
Wait, did you just ask me if there's anyone else here?
Yes, it's strange, don't you think?
You talk too much.
Sarah hears the commotion and rushes to help. She bursts into the room, only to be met with the horrific sight of John lying lifeless on the floor, her breath catching at the horrific scene before her. Her eyes dart to John on the floor, then to the kidnapper, who turns sharply at the sound of her entrance. Before she can react, the kidnapper raises his gun, his face cold and emotionless. Sarah instinctively takes a step backward, her hands trembling as she raises them defensively. Her heel catches on the corner of a small table near the door. She stumbles and falls backward, knocking over a lamp. The lamp crashes to the floor, shattering into sharp pieces. The kidnapper moves toward her, his gun trained on her chest. Behind him, one of the girls, Emma, sees her chance. Earlier, she had picked up the hairpin from the floor after it fell, while the kidnapper had been yanking Jessica's hair. Now, with her hands partially free, she slides one hand loose and grabs a broken table leg. As the kidnapper steps closer to Sarah, Emma leaps up and swings the wood with all her strength, striking him at the back of the head. The kidnapper stumbles forward, dropping his gun and groaning in pain. Sarah, wide-eyed and trembling, spots a shard of ceramic from the broken lamp. Without hesitation, she grabs it and plunges it into the kidnapper's thigh. He collapses to his knees, howling in pain. Sarah's hand trembles, adrenaline surging, her gaze snapping to Emma, who stands frozen, clutching her makeshift weapon. Sarah yells, her voice hoarse but commanding, the fight still burning in her eyes.
Get the girls.
Emma works quickly, freeing the other girls, as Sarah keeps her eyes on the kidnapper, who struggles to push himself off the floor. Once free, one of the girls, Lucy, grabs the rope that had bound her hands and loops it around the kidnapper's neck. With the help of another girl's, Jessica, she tightens the rope, forcing him back to the ground as he thrashes weakly. The kidnapper must have felt like he was in the middle of a royal rumble, with punches, kicks, and random objects flying at him from all directions. The group rushes out of the room, leaving the kidnapper immobilized and groaning on the floor. They scramble for the door, hearts pounding, and run. Sarah and the girls burst out of the room 13, their breaths ragged, their steps frantic. The rain has started to fall, drenching the cracked asphalt of the empty parking lot. Jessica, clutching a deep bruise on her wrist, points toward John and Sarah's car parked nearby.
The car, it's over there. Let's go. The key's in the car, isn't it? This isn't a horror movie. The key's in our room. Go ahead, I'll get it. Don't take too long, S. Just go. Move.
Sarah pauses in front of the door, glancing over her shoulder at the girls behind her. Her eyes scan the darkened corridor, filled with urgency and a silent warning for them to stay alert. Taking a sharp breath, she turns back and carefully pushes the door open. The door creaks open slowly. Sarah steps inside cautiously, glancing over her shoulder to make sure she's not being followed. With faint shadows flickering on the walls from the parking lot lights outside, her breathing is shallow, her movements hurried but quiet.
Where is it? Come on.
There it is!